Hey everyone, it's Doodle, and it is time for another book blogger hop with me. So this week's question has to do with Banned Books Week because it just ended on Saturday, October 6th. So this week's question is a two-parter, and it is, how do you feel about books being challenged to be banned from libraries or schools? Have you read any banned books? So to answer this first part, how do you feel about books being challenged? Honestly, I'm completely and 100% opposed to it because everyone has the choice whether or not they want to read a book, and if you pick the book up, you find you don't like it, put it down. You have that option. It's not like you have to finish the book. People, I think, get so offended by certain things in books, and it's like, you don't have to read it, and there are other people who like to read it, and, some of these books they've been teaching in schools for the longest time, and then they get banned because a parent or two gets offended by the content, or someone within the school gets offended and they don't believe that a student should be reading it. Well, the student has the option not to read it. The parent has the option to tell a teacher, I don't want my student reading this book. They can read something else at that point in time. But banning a book because you're offended by it, I can tell you that I'm offended by topic A, and I can get so many books banned for it. I can tell you I'm offended by topic B, where, I can get so many books banned for it. But what's the point when you have the option to or not to read a book? I think it's absolutely ridiculous to take these books out of schools when, there is deeper meaning behind them that, has important lessons to be learned, and, you can gain a lot by just reading a book. So I think banning is completely and 100% ridiculous. And then to answer the second part, have I read any banned books? I have read a ton of banned books. I didn't know until just recently that the Junie B. Jones series, the books I grew up reading, were banned or challenged at some point. And I'm sitting here like, I loved those books. I had all of them. So, I was just floored when I saw that. And then, let's see, 8th grade, I read The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. 10th grade, I read The Catcher in the Rye for school. Then I also, in my free time, read What My Mother Doesn't Know, TTYL, that series, The Hunger Games. Seriously, The Hunger Games, I love that series, or that trilogy. Then Twilight, which I read it, I loved it, went back to trying to read it and totally failed, but seriously, Twilight's harmless. At least I think so. Then I think it was 9th grade, I read My Sister's Keeper, and that was an astounding book. So much I learned from that one. Then 11th grade AP English, I read 1984, and that was my first look into dystopians. And I absolutely loved the book. And I know they've done studies and polls on, a lot of older classics like that. And they found that more men tend to enjoy 1984 and women tend to not enjoy it. But I'm sitting here like, I absolutely loved that book. I flew through it. It kept me so entranced, and I was in a class where I had to be taking notes on books, so I was sitting there and I had post-it notes through this entire book. I think I went through 2 stacks of post-its, the big stacks. Let's see, what else have I read? And then all of Ellen Hopkins' books. I know Crank specifically has been challenged frequently, and all of her books hit on the nitty-gritty, but her books are fantastic, and I'm sitting there reading them and holy crap, a lot of this stuff is definitely able to be applied to today's society, and, just having these books, her specifically challenged, it's you can learn a lot just from reading them, like Crank, for someone who doesn't know the signs and whatnot of meth users. That in itself is a pocket guide to figuring out who's using it, pretty much, and it is just her books are all fantastic reads. So that is my spiel on banned books and how much I completely despise them being challenged and banned, and so much can be learned from these books. So below this video, if you want to tell me what you think about banned books and them being challenged and what banned books you've read. So that's it for me this week. I will see you guys soon. Doodles out.